Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a sci-fi action film from 2012. That movie is Battleship. Now, I understand a lot of people have said a lot of negative things about this movie, and I should, by all rights, be going into it with a whole lot of dread. But I am a little bit optimistic, and the reason why is because one of the big arguments that people had about this movie before it even came out is that it's a movie based on a board game. It can't possibly be any good, which tells me that not enough people are familiar with this movie. Yes, guys, in the 1980s, they made a movie based on Clue. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the funniest mystery movies I have ever seen. I love this movie. Now, I am not trying to say that Battleship here is going to be as good as Clue. However, Clue has kind of sort of set the benchmark for how good a board game-based movie can be. I'm kind of hoping that Battleship will at least work its way towards that and be at least somewhat entertaining. But the only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Battleship. Wow, okay. Perhaps maybe this comes from having never been tased. I did not know that tasers would leave scorch marks on your back. That looks really painful. Now I'm kind of happy I've never been tased. Seriously, guys, that really looks like it would probably fucking hurt. Damn. You know what, guys? As much, honestly, as I'd love to, sit here and, dump on the writing and the lack of character depth, the very fact that it has an awesome, underrated song by AC/DC on the soundtrack, I'm actually kind of happy with that. I mean, fuck, everything else here has been kind of weak, but at least the soundtrack is good. And I'm damn happy about that, because, fuck, I wasn't even sure if the soundtrack was going to be any good. So let me see if I understand this. Their way of trying to tie in something from the Battleship game is to cause this alien structure to jam their fucking radar, which will then lead to them having to blindly fire. Okay, at least they came up with a reason why they don't have modern, radar in a movie about the game Battleship, okay? At least it makes some level of sense. Granted, it's also probably the dumbest way you could have explained it, but goddammit, at least it's something. So this is Battleship, right? This is supposed to be based on the, classic board game. If that's the case, why the hell then, well, besides the fact that why the hell do we have aliens, but why the hell do they basically look, like shitty fucking, power-armored soldiers we would see in bullshit games like Halo and Gears of War? I'm really curious now. These aliens look like shit. Yay, so they've just created the Battleship grid. As happy as I am to see references to Battleship in a movie called Battleship, it'd be real nice if this movie would at least start getting interesting. Guys, I'm not even asking for good at this point, because this movie's already gone past the point of being good. I want to find a reason to give a rat's ass about anything that's going on in this fucking movie. And you know what? It probably isn't going to give it to me. I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting here, and I'm still going to see nothing happen for the next hour. This movie is borderline unwatchable, and I can't wait for the fucker to end. I really think I should reiterate this. Big budget action film. Just should keep you at least interested. I'm struggling to stay the fuck awake. That is how absolutely boring this goddamn movie is, guys. I was totally expecting this thing to be kind of bad. I wasn't expecting it to be this fucking bad, alright? This thing is getting painful to watch. And god damn it, there's still another 40 minutes left. This is gonna hurt. You know, guys, at this point, I would really like to just see the humans lose. I swear to God, I am that disinterested in these characters. I want to see Earth get vaporized in this goddamn movie. That's a really bad fucking sign, guys. But right now, I'm totally rooting for the aliens to essentially just nuke the entire planet. I really want to see that happen. So, 12 minutes worth of credits, and one of my favorite CCR songs plays over it. No. Fuck you and fuck your goddamn credits. Anyway, guys, that was Battleship. Jesus, fuck, that was Battleship. Alright. That was painful. Alright. I guess first thing I should talk about is, well, it is based on a board game. I'm going to say this right now. Anytime that you are adapting anything, it doesn't matter if it's a comic book, a TV show, video game, board game, whatever, I totally understand that you have to take liberties with your source material. Otherwise, your movie will probably turn out a little bit bland or kind of flat. But, you know, there is taking liberties, and then there's slapping a goddamn name on something that has next to nothing to do with what you're apparently adapting. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the scant bits of lip service which this thing pays to Battleship are paltry at best. Any fucking simpleton could have written a movie about Battleship and made it more loyal to the game. Because how hard would it be to have two different fleets, somehow, some way their radar's out, and they have to blind fire at each other until one side sinks the other. You could make it Americans and Russians in the Cold War. You could do it with almost any two fleets, and it would have been great. But no, instead they wanted to go for some bullshit involving aliens, and the aliens' missiles just happen to look like the pegs from the game, and the way that we start shooting at their ships is we put the battleship grid on a screen and just start, firing because of fucking buoys. No, that's just, no. So yeah, first of all, to call this thing Battleship is an insult to Battleship. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. Now, I also want to talk about one of the blurbs, the one on the front here. I am not going to bother reading it. I am going to say, though, that it's from somebody who works for NBC. NBC is owned by Universal. I'll give you 3 goddamn guesses what studio made this fucking movie, and the first 2 don't count. They were so bankrupt for blurbs that they had to basically get one that basically was going to be guaranteed positive because it's from a company that is owned by Universal. God damn it, guys, that is just desperation and laziness, okay? It's really fucking sad. But of course, that's because you probably couldn't find a positive review of this goddamn thing if you tried. Now, I know that a whole lot of critics out there who were trying to be really clever were just saying Battleship is a miss. And I could probably just say that and shut this off right now, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because unlike them, I am not fucking lazy. I'm going to tell you guys why this movie sucks. But first, I think I should cover the few positives. Number 1, the special effects look great. At least they did when I first saw them in Michael Bay's Transformers movies. Because every single effect here looks literally as if it was lifted wholesale from one of those movies. And they looked fine in those movies, but then again, those movies also had writing that wasn't horrifically painful. Just sort of painful. Anyway, but still, special effects at least look halfway decent. And the soundtrack, a whole lot of the soundtrack is great. Unfortunately, when the only positives you have are special effects which looked better in other movies, and the soundtrack, you know that you're in for a horrible time. And believe me, guys, beyond those, camera work and lighting, everything else here is going to be a fucking positive. It's going to be a negative, alright? It's going to be, there's nothing else good about this movie. Let's start with the writing. I have already talked about the fact that this goddamn thing has zero to do with the Battleship game. But hey, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Let's just talk about the fact that the characters in here are all absolutely interchangeable and lifeless. There isn't a single likable character in this entire fucking movie. I couldn't bring myself to give even half a shit about a single character in this film because none of them have any real personality to speak of. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is how in the hell is Hopper, our main character? It is nothing shy of a miracle. I actually know his goddamn name. How the hell did he reach the rank of lieutenant if apparently he is the biggest, that he is the biggest douchebag slacker in the entire fucking Navy? That makes zero sense, and there's never any kind of explanation for it. Everyone just looks at him and goes, you are good and you're talented. We never actually see his talents until he's forced to take fucking command, but of course that there is just him going into panic mode and everybody else just sort of telling him what to do. The man is not a fucking leader. But everybody tells him he's good, he's talented, but he is just such a slacker, and then he's gonna get booted out of the Navy, and it's like, good, boot him out now. Fuck him, get him out. No. Screw that. Because we cannot have a plot unless we have a pretty boy lead. Oh my god. And every other character is just because he actually at least has that for a personality, or rather, he has that for at least some level of character depth. Nobody else has anything. Nobody else has anything even close to fucking character depth. This movie is absolutely bankrupt in terms of trying to build characters. So we have characters who you can never care about, which of course means that the story is going to fall completely flat, because if you don't care about these characters, then you're not going to care about what happens to these characters. If characters live or die, you're not going to give a shit, okay? It's that simple. And of course, when you're writing an action film, you have to at least keep the viewer, interested. Unless of course you're aiming for the drooling children who just like to watch shit explode. This movie has tons and tons of that. However, for people who actually want a little something to go with their, to go with their big fancy light show and their big fucking like pyrotechnic show, you are going to have nothing here. There is nothing here in terms of characters or writing. The story sucks. The characters suck. I hated every second of this goddamn story. Now, not only do we have that, but now we get to the acting. I will say, and I say this a lot, is that I never ever expect great acting from a movie whose script absolutely blows hard. This, though, it's worse, because nobody even tried. Everybody here was obviously in it just simply for a paycheck. The worst case of this is Liam fucking Neeson. Liam Neeson has taken horrible scripts, stuff like Star Wars Episode 1, and he was able to make it kind of work. And I kind of thought that he would be able to make anything work. And he phones in his fucking showing here. He is by far one of the worst actors in this goddamn movie. Now, to put this into perspective, this is also the first, and as far as I know, the only movie to feature pop singer Rihanna. Rihanna turned in a better showing than Liam fucking Neeson. Process that one. But mind you, also, Rihanna also sucked ass in this movie, too. See, guys, it is one thing for your acting to be bad because the script sucks. It is another thing entirely when your cast is putting in zero fucking effort into the movie. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are far better naval action films you can watch. There are far better sci-fi movies you can watch. There are far better fucking like blockbusters you can watch. In fact, sci-fi and blockbuster, I just mentioned the Michael Bay Transformers films. Go watch those. If you want a better naval action film, well, the only thing that's popping into my head right now is actually a naval comedy, which is called Down Periscope. I'd highly recommend that before this fucking thing. This movie has nothing. I'm actually trying to think if there's anything else worth mentioning. Oh yes, the product placement. I totally understand that, we are going to have product placement in movies. That's totally acceptable. However, I hate it when it's so absolutely retardedly blatant. And what I mean is, if you see a character with a smartphone, not only is it a fucking LG smartphone, but they all carry the same model of LG smartphone. One that has the LG logo very, very large and very vivid at the bottom of the goddamn phone. If anybody's eating anything, they are eating Subway. If anybody is wearing a shirt, it has to have the Under Armour logo. Everything here, and of course the camera almost zooms in on this shit to go, ooh, looky here, it's product placement. And frankly, product placement can go fuck itself. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in movies. I don't mind it when it's subtle, but this movie knows nothing of fucking subtlety, okay? So, once more, camera work is okay, the lighting here is okay, the soundtrack is great, special effects were better in the fucking Transformers movies. Beyond that, everything else is absolute garbage. And when all is said and done, am I able to recommend this? No, because I could easily just write it off as a mindless action, like a mindless action, like popcorn flick. But even mindless popcorn flicks at least have some level of soul, and this doesn't even have that. This is by far one of the worst action movies I've ever seen. It is one of the worst sci-fi movies I have ever seen. This thing is an absolute abomination to cinema. This movie sucks. And if you absolutely if you really want to watch it, I'm going to help you replicate how it feels to watch this. I want you to punch yourself in the face for a half an hour, non-stop, and then think about it for a second, go, do I really want to do this for another 90 minutes? And if the answer is yes, then by all means, go ahead and watch this. Otherwise, you don't need to suffer, because you've already been punching yourself in the face for a half an hour. And, well, actually, that right there is kind of an insult to punching yourself in the face. I think I'd rather spend 2 hours punching myself in the face than watching this fucking thing again. Now, because this is Fan Appreciation Month, Battleship here came off the wish list. The person who sent it in is a friend of mine, and I'm going to have to use the term friend incredibly loosely at this point. His name is David. You can find his YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/justkeepthisinmind. Go ahead, guys. Go over there and check out everything he has. And David, why? Out of all the shit I had on the wish list, I really didn't expect anyone to waste money on this, and yet you did, and I still don't know why. This thing is horrid. But anyway, guys, still, go over there and check out his stuff, because David does make some genuinely funny stuff. As for this movie, first of all, I'm just going to toss it over. I do not want to be handling that fucking case anymore. I need to watch something better. You know what? I'm going to go see if Down Periscope is on fucking is on Netflix, because I just mentioned it. I need to watch it. And if it's not there, I'm probably going to have to buy the DVD off of Amazon. I still don't own a copy yet. I'm going to go do that. I need to be fucking reminded of something good. So yes, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.